All right, here we are. I'm gonna wait for some people to join us, and I will give you the intro for today's show. Hello. All right, here we are. Jill, I'm gonna send you the invitation. Nice.
Hi, Patricia.
You got it. And the first one. How are you?
Doing well. How are you doing?
Good. Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can.
Okay, sweet. Nice. I'm very excited for this interview. Thank you so much for accepting.
Oh, well, thank you for the invitation.
Well, I never have an athlete your level so close. So I'm and being in strength and loving bodybuilding is really it's a pleasure to be able to reach you and to share all your knowledge and how it was before to train and weightlifting and just I think we all struggle with it. I like be big as a woman and I love training hard. So
Wow.
before I'm sure it was much more difficult.
Yeah, well, I have a strange echo going on. I'm going to take one of my headphones out here and see if it makes a difference. Um, it was different. It sounds like we're talking to, somebody 50 years ago. It wasn't really that long ago. It was like 20, 25 years ago, but social media has really changed things. I think it's in everybody's face 24/7 now. So there's a certain amount of, I guess, a little more acceptability. I still don't see as much as I would like for women. But I'm definitely, I wouldn't be the circus freak that I was back in 20 years ago when I'd go out in public.
I say my laptop is doing echo. It's do you still hear me with echo as well?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you hear me with echo?
When I speak, there's an echo.
Okay, because someone text saying there is an echo. I can't hear it though.
Okay.
Oh,
Let me try this without my
no,
headphones.
it's
My
probably
speaker is
mine.
not. Okay.
I never
Let me.
use the headphones because on the lives it's very hard.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna give you the intro while she fixes the screen. So today we're in episode Go Beyond number 16. We're interviewing Jill Mills, two-time world's strongest woman, powerlifting, and such an inspiration for many women around the world, and especially in the United States, of course. And I'm very excited to interview her. And Jill, just tell us about you because I'm already just throwing up two things over there. Or you have a long story to tell. It's just who is Jill Mills?
Who is Jill Mills? That's a tough one. It's, like everybody, we evolve over time. Who I was when I was competing is a little different now because my sole focus in life was training to be the best. Now I have a lot more hobbies and interests. That was all then. Now I love nature and books and plants and all kinds of boring stuff like that. Motorcycles, mountain bikes. Um, but back 20 years ago, if we're talking about back when I was competing, it was really I had a one-track mind, and that was to be the best in the world.
And you did it twice. So yeah, no joke. But like, what brought you into fitness, and especially like 25 years ago? How did that came to your mind?
um, Actually, it probably started around the age of 14. And definitely was unusual because I grew up in the middle of nowhere in the country. Um, my lifestyle growing up was that of a country girl of doing a lot of manual physical labor. So that was comfortable for me. The idea of working hard in the gym was comfortable. That was my normal mindset, was to push myself. I think I saw a woman one time. I was out canoeing actually, and I saw a woman who was a bodybuilder. And I remember being drawn to her back muscles, and I thought, oh my God, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I want to have a back like that. She was truly a unicorn back then. Um, but I don't know. And then I started reading books and magazines. That's what I do when I get into something I do. just endless research on it. And just, it evolved from there. But back when I started, there was no physique, there was no figure. It was purely women's bodybuilding. I didn't even know about powerlifting. There was no strong woman competitions. I did the very first one in the U.S. So, um, I the physique or the bodybuilding was what to do, but there was hollowness to it. Like, you sacrifice so much, and then you get on stage for a day, you look good for a day, but then no true measurement of what you can do. That's what motivates me, is that what you put into it is exactly what you get out of it in the world, and nobody can take that from you.
Yeah. But how do you get,
Big broad answer
I
your
mean,
question.
what's the mindset that you have to give to yourself in order to be like the best in the world? Because I don't know, for example, for me as an athlete, you have to breathe that. And especially with all the things that we have nowadays, before there was less information and everything. How do you set your mind? Because I'm a lot about body mind work
Absolutely.
together. It's definitely it's very important. So like reading that you think, yeah, the boring thing is the best because it puts in the mood. But I think you have to have like a super strong mind in order to just set an objective like that.
Yeah.
Like,
No, you have to be an intrinsically motivated person. You cannot be somebody who is purely motivated by music or likes on social media. You have to have that internal fire that can't be bought, can't be given to you. You have to find that for yourself, because we all know that motivation is going to, go. So there has to be something in there that drives you. And for me, it's, we all have a story, and I came from a very violent childhood. So the fact that I knew what it was to feel weak and to feel powerless from some things that happened, that was a horrible feeling to me. So for me, I empowered myself by building that external armor and by getting stronger. So it was a very deep motivation for me, not just superficial, like, to look good.
yeah, yeah, I
And but
feel
you're
yeah.
right, information. I mean, nobody has an excuse nowadays. It's what you have. You can hire the best coaches in the world for nutrition. You can, whatever. It's right at your fingertips. But when I started, you had to dig for it. You had to earn it. And a lot of it trial and error. Like, you know, try different things. We'll talk about and take your notes and change things. And so I never really had a coach. I had one coach to help me get ready for my show, and after that, it was learning.
Oh my God, that's hard though.
Yeah, but
I mean, you're the one who knows yourself. Yeah, you know yourself better than anyone. But I mean, I don't know in powerlifting, but to me, just thinking of not having a coach, even getting close to the competition, when you just lose a little bit your mind. It's
yeah, it is hard, but it it's kind of good to not be dependent on anybody too.
yeah,
You know,
that's great though. Yeah,
you can only blame yourself if you screw it up.
yeah, that's so true. And nowadays, I heard you're still coaching. So I have like
I,
a very tricky question, like, how do you help or motivate women to get stronger when most of them are afraid of it and they think, the issues that we always face as coaches, like, oh, I want to be strong, but I don't want to be as big. And they think it's just easy to get big. And how do you help them motivate and understand that it is the need and the benefits of being stronger, not up to that level, but just being stronger? How do you
you
help
know,
with that?
27 years coaching. So the people, and I don't, not a social media person usually. Like, I don't, my generation, we don't do it. So the people that come to me generally, so they know that if they're going to, I'm gonna put it back on them. They have to do the work. Know if they're not doing the work, and I'm gonna hold them accountable. Um, so I haven't had too many women in recent years being on too much size or strength. Um, but in the past, I have a friend that said that her thing that she would tell female clients was work as hard as you can every day. And the day that you get up here and you don't like what you see, pull back.
Yeah.
Because you and I know that day,
And you
that
see
whole
that day. Yeah.
woman is too big. It's not like you wake up one morning and,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so,
Yeah, I wish. No, it's not like that. Yeah, it's
no,
exactly like that. And
so
what are the benefits that you find from being strong?
just everyday life.
Yeah.
One thing that really stuck in my mind back in my early 20s, I did home health, which I was out there with a lot of the geriatric population. And I would have a lot of these frail little ladies who were completely dependent. So it was a mental thing for me. Like, I never want to be like that. So just on a daily basis, having to not need someone to help me move things, to know that I'm strong enough, that I can move things and do things for myself. Um, that's really the main thing for me at this point in my life, just to continue being an example. There's been a person like, show me, don't tell me. And so that's the attitude I have with my clients now. I mean, I've been through a lot of injuries, a lot of surgeries, and I always try to come back. But now it's a little different. Now I try to be nicer to myself. Before, it didn't matter what, it had to get done.
Yeah.
A little different attitude now.
Yeah. Age and reading. I think we all been through that. Yeah. And some injuries that just make you pull back from certain things. But had to ask for this. Like, oh, I just got crushed on in English because this was not on my list. But like, being able to motivate all these women to get stronger. What is the thing that for you is the most important for you as a coach? Because I see you as a leader, and obviously, especially the ones that you did everything in the beginning, you open like a whole war for all the rest. That like I don't know when I see it, but especially before it was just so challenging to just throw yourself there, and it's so new, and maybe not being afraid to being judged and just doing because you like it. So what would be like one of your tips to give to everyone? Like, what's your inner motivation or your key for just keep going no matter what the other ones tell you or try to stop you or tell you that you're never going to do that?
Yeah, you have to put your blinders on. Um, that was a discussion I had with myself. I mean, because everybody's the criticism. We all are. It can be really mean on the internet, so it's very easy. But uh, you have to know yourself, know what makes you happy, and like I say, you put those blinders on and just focus on your goal and just don't worry about anything. My friend told me, draw a circle around yourself and worry about everything in this attitude to have. Like, you can only control what you do, what you think, and outside of that, you don't really have any control over that. So every day when you wake up and you look in the mirror, you got to think about, like, what is it that's going to make me happy? And satisfying other people is not going to make you happy,
That's a good
and
one.
you look in the mirror and you want to be a 200-pound 6% body fat, a woman, that's not going to fit the normal idea of what someone would be happy in, but hey, everybody's different, and just focus on that, what makes you feel good about yourself.
Yeah, that's an amazing advice, and it works for everything. So it's true. Though. I see that from sport. I see it in everyone, honestly. Whenever we began in sport, I think our mindset is weaker. And the more you are into it and the more you demand to yourself, you make stronger also mentally. Like, did you feel,
Absolutely.
of course, you felt the difference, but like, how did you experience it starting, coming to the woman that you are today, knowing that you were able to overcome your own goals so many times? Because, of course, for
Yeah.
being how many championships did you have to win to be the world's strongest woman 2 times? How many competitions? There was a lot of
Yeah,
challenges.
I did. Yeah, so I did quite a few, and your confidence builds with each one, little by little by little, and it's just like that in life. Like, okay, so I was just, when you were talking, I had this thought that I thought I'd mention. I've had a lot of women come to me over the years, and they start off with no confidence. They start off in a very deep rut. They have no clue what they're capable of. They might have been successful at their job or being a mother or whatever, but they're not happy. And so over time, they build themselves up, they get more confidence. So that confidence carries over to everyday life. So suddenly they're, hey, maybe I can go skydiving. Maybe I can do this. Maybe I can do that. And it's like the world just opens up. And often, not oftentimes, but sometimes I've had it actually come into issues in their marriages or relationships, because say you've been in a relationship for 20, 30 years, suddenly you're uncomfortable because you're challenging the norm for them, you know? So if you don't have that good support system, sometimes that can add to the challenge of things, you know? But it definitely has an all around effect. It's not just like, oh, I look, you know, I can lift more weight. It is mental, you know, strong body, strong mind, vice versa, you know? So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. When you find a coach with experience, and especially someone that has as much experience as you, which is it's difficult to find this kind of coaches. Let's be honest. That's why I was very like interested and happy and excited to make this interview, because you can see up to the professional level all the women that come to you, and how sports. I always insist how sport can help you build your mind. It's not just doing sport for feeling looking good and feeling healthy. It's also something that happen inside that you can only explain, and I think only people who has been in any kind of sports, especially in competition sports, where your main competitor is yourself. You're not really competing with anybody else. Once you understand
That's
that,
true.
by like reaching to that level, I think, I mean, I heard you get back also to the community, and you have a group, and how is the how are the women that are surrounding you, like what do you see in them? Because you can see an amazing change, as you were just mentioning, right? Like they feel stronger, they feel more confident.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd say majority of my clients are women in their 30s and 40s. Some are law enforcement officers. They're just all kinds of women, you know. I mean, from that to speech therapists to, you know, all different, but they all are very positive and very hardworking and very driven. That's the thing that I think is the main thing is attitude. Like, you know, if you don't have a good attitude, I always say I can work with everything but a bad attitude.
Yeah,
And that's the
yeah,
truth. Like, you know, you have to start working with the mind and fixing that, like negative talk, before you're going to really make those lasting changes in the body.
yeah. I can work with everything except a bad attitude. That's a great one. It's so true though. It's
Yeah, I don't
so true.
know how old it is, what the goal is, but if they don't have the right mindset, it's not. And I am just straight up about that. Like, it's an investment in their money, but it's an investment in my time, and I'm sharing my passion. So if, you know, if they don't have the mindset to receive it and to use it, it's not ever going to work. So, you know, good luck and goodbye, basically.
I love it. I love that system. It's true though. So it's true. I agree so much with you. Yeah, if they don't want to do anything and it's just for chilling around, just find another coach, right? You challenge them
Yeah. Or putting,
mentally, and
you know, I always say, okay, well, I saw you 3 hours last week. That's 160 plus hours that you had to yourself. What did you do with that?
yeah, yeah. And then I seen a little bit also how you give back to the community and in many ways besides coaching. Do you want to tell us about it? Because you have big
Um,
things
so
going on
a
around you.
variety.
Huh?
I've been working with some veterans, some adaptive athletes, trying to get that going in South. My brother had a spinal cord injury, and he in a wheelchair, so that was a real eye, like how somebody who is extremely athletic suddenly, in that initial acute phase of it, there's not really as far as um, how to get a normal life or a life back. So I was trying to get something going with that. Uh, Pretty much girls who've aged out of the foster care system, but once they hit 18, they're basically given the boot. try to get involved with that. There's just all kind of things that touch my heart, basically. I'll do whatever I can to help.
Um,
I'm not sure if that was your question because I can hear
yeah,
tidbits of
that was
what you're
yeah, yeah. I
saying.
mean, it was open. I just seen few things, and also Jimmy was telling me like a lot of things about you. He's a big admirer. I think that's the way of saying in English. Like he admires the work you do, and especially your way of coaching, which we both agree a lot on it. It's not just like teaching someone; it's having the passion. And I think that without passion, you can't reach to the level that you were. And I'm very happy that you said the passion comes internally, and it has to be an inner motivation in order to reach to those levels. And you have to be driven, and you have to put your goal, and you have to put everything into that, which not everybody's
Yeah,
willing to get there because it's a lot of
yeah.
sacrifice.
Yeah, I mean, it's the most satisfying thing in the world to me, quite honestly. When I see somebody, like I have a new lady that I just started a few weeks ago, and she came to me and she said little things like, "Oh, well, I know I'll never be a physique competitor, and I'm okay with that. I just want to do the most I can do with my body." And I'm like, you know, inside, I'm like excited because those are the magic words to me. I know she's open to trying things. She always wants to know what more she can do. She always wants to learn more, listens. Those are the things I know that are going to make somebody, um, I mean, they may never have the genetics to be the best in the world, but they're going to be the best. They're going to want and grow into the best they can be. So
Mm.
really get me fired up. And then knowing that they don't know what they're looking for, but I know what they're looking for. I think we're freezing here, but you don't know
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
what there
You
is
know,
out there, the possibilities, you know.
yeah.
So that's my job. That's what I try to do is help them find that.
I love it. I mean, that's to me, that's what's a coach. It's to be a person that guides you, that gives you orientation, helps you to discover yourself, to overcome everything. I
Yeah.
just love when I see somebody so complete that can really lead you through that. Because it's, as I say, it's not just giving you a diet and a workout. And I don't want people to think that having a coach, or oh, I have a coach, but I never reach my goals. Well, you have to be focused, as you say, and driven, but it's not the same for everyone. And it's good to find people with experience, with passion for what they do, because I think passion is contagious.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And it's about me putting my personal goals for them. It's about me helping them find their own. That's the difference. I see some trainers that are excited about one thing only, and so they're trying to push everybody into that. Well, I get excited when I have one of my clients wanted to be the first female SWAT officer, and so she became. Well, there was one back in the '80s, but since then there hasn't been another one. We worked and we made that happen. I've had girls that have wanted to, or women that have wanted to do obstacle course races. Then I'm happy to help them with that. So I live vicariously at this stage of my life. Whatever they're excited about, I'm excited to help them find that.
Amazing. Yeah, it's it's great. You're more like I think coach, but in like not only sport coach, like the coach, like the mental coach as well. Like
Well, I mean,
I think that's the newest style of coaches because we end up being psychologists or therapists or best friends.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I always try. I've had to learn to keep that little boundary there because the problem is you let your clients become more friend than client, then sometimes it can actually be not good for the relationship because they need to know when they come in, it's not time to talk about their problems. In fact, I want them to not think about their problems. That'll be out the door when they leave. When they come in the gym, I want it to be 100% about the mission for that day. And I mean, there may be something we need to talk about that is going on to kind of get them on. If, it's a mindset when you walk in the door, and I want them to have that mindset.
yeah, it's like the
They're always
meditation time with the iron.
What's that?
The iron meditation time. That's how I call
Absolutely.
my gym time.
Yeah.
I don't talk. I don't look anyone. Oh my God. Those were my questions for you, Jill. Is anything you want to share with us about your experience and like main things you've been seeing nowadays, especially with the evolution of women, like you're getting more women into the gym. I honestly see more stronger bodies. Oh, it froze,
Yeah.
it froze. Like when it comes to
Okay.
bodybuilding, it went the other way around. Like we had a lot of amazing women physiques and bodybuilders, and then it started going down. Now we have a lot of bikinis and other categories. But I think in powerlifting, it's still, I mean, the amount of women that are more fit, it's still increasing.
Yeah. Well, okay, so I think there's a lot of stereotypes that go with female strength athletes. People think that you, and I did too, they think you have to be fat to be strong. And if you go look at truly the best athletes in the strength world, they are maybe 2 or 3 months out from stage ready for bodybuilding show, a lot of them. I mean, they look, I mean, it's it's a, but the body is the same, the sort of the same end result. You know, you build muscle, shape the muscle, but there's, the difference is power or function versus, you know, or stage, you know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
um, it's just, you know, when I'm always available. I, if somebody, like I said, if somebody comes to me and they need that, they're welcome to contact me.
Yep. I was also thinking contacting you because I did a small powerlifting like 12 weeks and I loved it. I never been as strong in my life. I think my body changed in a way that I didn't expect it to change. Like I had volume, but I was smaller. Like I was able to lift more and I was smaller, lifting more weight. It was just
Yeah.
an amazing experience, honestly, because as bodybuilders, at least myself, I feel like, yeah, we look very good, but we're not strong. And that challenged me a
Mm-hmm.
lot to see women that I could see on social media were just like skinnier than me and they were doing, I don't know, even squatting with like 100 kilos. And I was like, oh, I've never done that. Can I do it? So I think it's such an interesting journey to get into strength training, and especially with
Yeah.
someone that has passion and can guide you in a way that not to get injured, because it's also a challenge not to get injured when you're lifting heavy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a process. It's not like I'm just going to walk at 50 minutes bar. You know, we do it systematic. I always who do bodybuilding, they should do some powerlifters should do bodybuilding in the, you know, they kind of balance each other.
Yeah. And I know you're not really into social media, but like where can we find you if anybody wants to train with you, or how can they contact you? How can someone get in
Uh,
touch with you in order to get into strength training program? Where are you? Oh,
you the
but
1995 answer, email, email.com.
I will put it
You know, I'm on,
I will put it in the description of the video so they can reach you. Oh, it's getting frozen a little bit.
yeah.
Now I have you. You're gonna yeah. I hope it
Okay.
was it was only mine that froze.
I guess I didn't mention my latest thing with, so I've been working with the San Antonio for the last 5 years. I developed a program for fire them from basically getting hurt, which most of them end up injured moving bodies and things. So that's sort of the direction. That's my passion right now. The whole world is sort of new. It's in infancy right now. So, um, you know, so like I said, I work with all kinds of people, not just powerlifters and strong. So, yeah, emails to get in touch with me through Instagram.
I'm gonna tag you everywhere. So you're gonna start getting
So
into social media. Really,
I
Joe.
feel like I want to interview you now. I know what it is to be a female bodybuilder.
It was the weirdest thing ever. Walking around, and I love walking around with leggings, especially off season, to be honest. because jeans and 50 degrees in Fahrenheit, I don't know, but like 50s, 60s, and wearing jeans, and no, it was really difficult. And I don't know, I felt awkward.
Yeah.
I felt awkward everywhere. I mean, to me, it's normal, but when I walk with someone there and they don't know me that well, it's like, oh, they're why are they looking at you? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe because of the legs, but I look normal. I'm
Yeah.
used to being to this industry, so to me, it's normal. But I guess that's why, like, that was my approach with you. Like, when you walk around, what do you feel? Oh my God, I closed the window. I'm so
Like
hot.
walking down there.
How do you
Do you
feel,
get a
sir?
you
I was getting froze. If I get a lot of,
get a lot of rude comments directly to you?
not now. Um, Before, when I was getting bigger, before they knew like I became like an athlete and I started competing, when I was just like getting big, I had friends even coming to me like, "Oh, you're looking like a man. You're looking too big. What are you doing? You were so cute before. What are you doing to your body?" Even around my family, like it's like, "Why are you getting so big? Why do you like this?" And honestly, I felt that just made me willing to be stronger
Yeah.
because it's like, okay, you're
It's
telling me this, but I think I look better than ever. I'm healthier than ever. I'm taking care of my food. I'm training. I'm feeling great. I'm working my mind. I'm achieving my goals. Like,
yeah.
if someone just approaches me that I haven't seen in a long time, and I remember there was like a small party, not party, but a place to have drinks by the beach, and there was a lot of people that I knew. So I found people I haven't seen forever, and the first comment you come to me to say is like, "Oh, you look like a man. What have you done? I don't want to be your friend, you know?"
Yeah.
That's why for me, what's very interesting, like if this is happening now, this maybe happened to me like 4 or 5 years ago. I think now
Yeah.
some people might think about it, but they don't approach me to tell me. I think no, I don't know. There is the point where you say you feel confident that they would just not get close to you to tell you. I don't think they will dare to even say that because do you feel proud of yourself and you prove it?
Yeah. So we've had the same journey actually years ago because that's exactly how and
Also,
when you
years
start
ago,
somebody to give you their opinion, but you maybe you just don't hear it anymore. You know, you just
yeah,
on you and you insulate yourself with like-minded people, you know. And then and I always said it was kind of like speak Russian to someone who doesn't speak Russian. They're never gonna understand it. No point in
yeah,
even trying to do what makes you happy, and that's it.
exactly. It's true. I mean, to me, it brought everything into my life. It just brought some order. It's just, I found something so fair that the more I invest, the more I get. And if I don't invest, I lose it. And I found it
Yes.
something so fair because there is nothing, I don't think there's nothing in life like the more, okay, yeah, love and love relationships, family. But
Hmm.
like this is what's really just for me and my time. And I was just improving every time. And if you cheat, you're cheating to yourself. There's no one you can cheat. I was like, oh my God, this is like really, and I mean, you diet as well, of course, in powerlifting.
Yeah.
But like, I had
Yeah.
to diet
It's
like
very much
hell.
what you get out and give that or take that from you.
Yeah. But like, I don't know, at least what I experienced, especially going through the diets and 2 hours of cardio every day and then going to the gym because like I was traveling a lot before my competitions. So I was maybe coming from South Africa last year and I had like 6 days to drop the water and to get tight in shape again. And it was just for that. I mean, I think my whole life was about the few events that I have and that because I couldn't focus on anything else. But I think it's a lot of mind development. Like, I'm excited for the next time I go on stage because I think that with the mindset that I have right now, I won't struggle as much with people around me because, of course, it affected my mood. I was very demanding, the same demanding that I was with myself. I was with everyone, and I had to understand that not everybody was seeking for that perfection or for that level. Or honestly, it was something hard.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah. Yeah. You're they are also on the same level.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. So I think it's been an amazing journey. I will never change my body for the body that I had before. I don't know if it happens to you, but sometimes I look at pictures, especially when I was more aesthetic, smaller. Like now, I consider the inside of a woman, I'm big for the normal in my city, and especially in Kuwait, I'm weird. I don't know if it's any of
Yeah.
my Kuwaiti friends, but I think over there, I'm just weird. I, and it doesn't
Doing,
matter where I
doing,
walk. Yeah. So at this point, I don't care anymore. I had even the point where I was very big. To me, I was very big, but people would stop me like, "Can you take a picture with me?" I'm like, "I'm no one." Like really, like if that
yeah.
happened to me, I can't imagine what happened to you. Like in
Well,
United
so I
States,
developed,
it's
I became
different.
very, I didn't want to go out around people. I would, because it would affect that little thing in your mind, you know. So it actually kind of pushed me into myself where I was always on guard to go out because I honestly had experiences where there would be a 300-pound woman standing next to me and, and everybody knows it's rude to look at the 300-pound woman, but it's okay to look and make rude comments to the freak bodybuilder or muscle.
Completely, completely. I had a friend that she was a little bit overweight, and she would complain how I eat. Like, why do you eat so much? Are you serious? Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, and then Tupperwares and eating outside. It's a huge struggle. So it's not just the thing of getting there and okay, I decided to do this for myself. It's like you have to go against everything until you change your environment, I think, because I changed the friends, I changed my surroundings, I changed the way I think, I changed the way I do everything. I think when you really, really get into sport and you have passion and you have the right people around you, and especially a right coach, that's why I insist a lot. If you hit with the right coach in the beginning, your journey can be so much easier, so much faster, everything. I wish I had this knowledge before how important it is to have a good coach.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I didn't have good coaches, like I hit with very good people, but there were few things I would have never done, like some exercises, like knowing if I have hyperlordose on my back by genetics, maybe I would have taken care more of that. Then now I did a stretching course and I got so much into stretching because I realized that I have, my back has to improve. Otherwise,
Yeah.
in 40 years, I'm going to struggle with that. And I can keep squatting free weight like nothing.
Yeah.
As well. I
Yeah.
insist a lot, even with clients, like you have to check your patterns, like how your body is. And oh, nobody told me this. I'm like, come on, your knee is twisted in the inside and you're just squatting. I don't know. Like, come on, it's health. It's not just getting big, it's feeling better, it's maintaining it.
Yeah.
It's,
Honestly, that's one of the things that's changed or evolved over the years with my training is that you're right 100%. Like you have to get everything healthy and movement and all of that restored before you can even think about, I mean, people get impatient and they don't want to do all that stuff because it's boring and it's tedious, but somebody there who makes you do it definitely
yeah,
definitely
my God, I make them meditate.
that's wonderful.
I mean, all my clients maintains at least every night. Like I have packages. I like Jay Shetty. I don't know if you know him. He has a book that's called Think Like a Monk. It was going to be released in March, but now it's going to be released in September. But I like him if you research about him. And he was a monk for 3 years, and then he left the place for the monks. I don't know what's the name in English. He shares his experience with the world, but like how wise he got from silence and from listening. And I think I touch a lot of women with food disorders, especially. And I was asking I had dinner with one of my best friends, that she's a coach, and I was like, "Is it me, or like all women struggle with food, or they all come to me?" Like. And I think it's a general thing nowadays that we're just so distracted and so anxious all the time, and we don't stop, we don't listen. And as I said, we don't have the right people around us to guide us and to understand what's happening and to know that it's not everything about having the six pack and looking good and putting pressure. That
Absolutely.
I just find that I don't deal as much with men. I left those to Jimmy. But especially women, they have a lot of things to do with the food. Like honestly, I did one special episode about the food disorders, but
Uh-huh.
I got I got so much deeper into wellness coaching and the mind and to find people that really gives that extra mile and extra something because without the attitude, as you said, and the right mindset, it doesn't matter if you have the best coach in the world. You're not gonna get there. And
Yeah.
you are stopping yourself. So I like to do some personal work as well as the exercise and as well as the nutrition because a diet you might do the diet perfectly perfect up to the gram 4 months 5 months something happens into your life you stop everything
Yeah.
because you're moving on from control and control is an illusion so you can't be controlling everything like oh I have this so control and then as soon as something pops you're gonna drop everything. I've been there myself. I've been there like
Yeah, it's
counting the
all
rice and taking like
sure.
I would take like grams of rice on the scale, like, oh, this 1 gram more, and I took it off.
Oh my
Like, are you serious? I swear I did it. And my mom's here. She's watching it. I don't know.
yeah.
I wanted to be so perfect, and I thought that if I did everything perfect up to the detail, I would succeed in it. And I forgot that it was also in here that I had to feel confident with what I was doing instead of like suffering, like, oh, today I think I did this wrong, so I'm going to compensate. I'm going to do a little bit more cardio, or tomorrow I will reduce my carbs, or my God, I did all the female mistakes, like typical female mistakes. Even the first time I saw my coach, I remember the first thing I told her, because she's a world champion in 1991 from body fitness. So she's strong. And I told her,
Uh-huh.
I love your body, but I do want to get that big. And she still reminds
Mm.
me nowadays, like, remember what you told me? And I was like, I know. And I even heard. So that's why one of my questions was like, how can we help them understand that it's not about size, but like there's so many benefits of being strong,
Yeah.
as you say, like
Yeah, I
strong
just
body.
it does, not what it looks like, more than, and it's just a little tweak in that mindset so that they're not fixated scale in the mirror every day. In fact, I've got some people, I have one lady who is fixated, so I just basically told her, I don't want you to look in the mirror naked. I don't want you to get on a scale for 3 weeks. Just trust the process because, you just kind of sabotage yourself if you're looking every single day for a change. So, yeah, and then once you start getting some momentum, then, it's easier to stick to it. But the being just where you're obsessed with every detail, that's something a lot of us get sucked into. I mean, I was there, and when I got away from that, I had to basically teach myself how to eat like a normal human being again. So it's that finding the balance, and letting yourself live life and not live every day like you're getting ready to get on stage. That's a tricky thing for a lot of people.
It is a lot, and I think it's because it's like you said, like I am Jill Mills competitor, but I have many other roles or like personalities. Like you have to get out of that role and maybe be the wife or be the mother and be the one that works and then knowing how to integrate all of them it's so tricky because
Yeah.
once you end it like okay you put the objective and you won then after that what happened? Did you have like the peak of happiness and then drop?
Absolutely. That point. Most people don't. It's a hollow, you're like, okay, it's kind of anticlimactic. And so many people I've seen over the years, they can't find that balance, so they don't stay around very long. They may really get into the bodybuilding or powerlifting or whatever, and they can't even like hold a normal job for like 2 or 3 years. They live in the gym, and then when they have to go to work or they get in a relationship, you never see them again. So I'd say that's a tip I would give people is really focus on finding a balance.
That's it. Then as we have some extra time, I'm doing something with I don't know if what's her name, Dr. Julia Santos, I think it's her name, and it's called the Podcast of Happiness, and she has the Happiness Lab that is a course that you can take online. Then she always talks, and other psychologists, how it's like when you win the lottery. So you win the lottery, you're extremely happy, but that's not sustainable on time. And I think it's kind of like the same thing that happens. I don't feel that much like it matches with me because I was never training to get the pro card. It's something that fall out from heaven, honestly, because I wanted to compete, and then some judges told me, "Oh, you should go to this championship and you should do this," and I just listen and keep going. And by the end, I was surprised, like, "Oh my God, like this is the biggest surprise ever." I was extremely happy, but I was not doing it for that, so I was happy anyway. I didn't have that thing, but I think
Yeah,
it's what happens if you focus only on the goal, and then once you achieve it, what happens?
yeah. No,
How
that's a great point. Like for me, looking back, winning was more about to myself, my own worth, than it was about ever finding happiness. I never walked away from a contest. You know, they don't say, "Well, how do you feel?" And I would always say, "Oh, it's great." Put the, but in reality, it would be like, "Oh, thank God I didn't lose."
yeah.
And it wasn't the satisfying thing that people outside would think it was. So yeah, definitely happiness is something that is much deeper than what you or those sorts of goals, superficial goals like that.
It took me some time to understand that it's the journey that makes you happy, not the goal.
Absolutely, and you're wise to realize that at this point in your life, because it really was about 3 years ago when I figured that out.
Well, I did a lot of, honestly, I jumped into coaching very early. When I was like 14th, I started seeing early for me because there's people that's nowadays, oh my God, like when they go early, they're early. But I just started reading some books. I touched with the right people that kind of like made me conscious quite soon. And
Mm,
then it's true through reading and following the right people. I always tell people just please clear your Instagram from everything that doesn't make you feel good, from everything you might compare yourself and you don't have a good feeling after that. That's not helping you at all. And I think sport and strength and fitness just makes you stronger to make those decisions. And it doesn't matter. You can have your body as you can go to the gym and not grow. It all depends on your food and how you train and many things. So it's not an excuse not to exercise, but like the hormones and everything that generates to exercise just makes you feel so good that you're just more capable of doing anything. Like when I train, I just feel more ready for anything that comes in the day. It's like I'm set. This is my meditation. Anything that comes, I'm ready to do it. Like the unstoppable thing. Like that was my mindset. When I don't train, like this quarantine,
yeah.
I never thought I could be this long without training. I've been training for 10 years, and I don't think I ever missed the gym for more than 1 month because I was traveling and I tried to jump in any gym that I could find in any hotel. No joke. Or I would just go crazy. And the quarantine just gave me like a slap on the face. Like, look, like you can do it. It is possible. You're not going to lose it. It's not going to go away. There's hard work there. So because you know what I was saying, like as much as you invest, it's like it's such a so like it's such a fair sport, but also when you stop, it seems like you lost everything. Like I don't know if you experienced
Uh,
that,
yeah, I think this
like especially in
quarantine,
strength.
it's been hard, but I think it's probably a good thing for some people. It's probably actually
Yeah,
making them realize some stuff. And a lot of times you can't really face it's easy to ignore your stuff going internally when you're busy. So in
yeah.
the end, yeah, it's probably a blessing for a lot of people.
And what tips would you
Um,
would you give us?
Never mind. What's that?
No, no, go ahead, go ahead. I got frozen. Go ahead.
Oh,
Personally,
I was gonna say, I was just thinking when you're speaking, I don't think I've ever gone more than 2 weeks without training in
How many years?
30 years.
Oh my God.
And that's with a C-section, that's with a tricep resection, that's with, I've had 6 surgeries. So even with all of that, I still got back in there and did what I could do, whatever that was. So yeah, and probably would be good to take a little bit of a break, but at some point, it's like the glue in your life. Like you said, it's that thing that kind of, like it just keeps you on that routine that just makes everything else work.
It is. That's a great way of explaining it. And I think some people would say like, "Oh, I don't like the gym," or it's just like I think it's the way you see it. And it's not the gym. You can play any sports, but it's that time for yourself and what it gives you. Like I do tell everyone, just do anything. Like 30 minutes of sport a day. It's proven even psychologically that it just makes you happier. So if you have something that you can do 30 minutes every day, even walk, that makes you happy, why are you not doing it? It's kind of a
Yeah.
thing that it just crosses my mind. It's just 30 minutes. Anything you want. Just walk around. 3 walks of 10 minutes, like the vertical diet says. Or, I don't know, anything. It, it just makes such a huge difference. So I like to push a lot.
My donkey.
Your dog?
Can you hear a donkey?
You have a donkey? That's a
Yeah, I have
very
a donkey.
interesting pet, dear. Super interesting pet. I never met anyone that has a donkey.
Really? Well, Texas.
Oh my God. Anyway, we have 5 minutes, 6 minutes left, so I want to leave them for you if any like any closure motivational that you will give to everyone, especially for all the women that might be starting into weightlifting, who are willing to do a change, who maybe they feel stuck or afraid of joining the gym and they don't see the benefits of that.
Well, yeah, a lot of women I think get really intimidated. They feel like they're being judged when they walk in the door. And it goes back to what we were saying, like, who cares? You got to learn to just shut it out and not put any pressure on yourself to try to do anything more than you're comfortable with initially. And definitely, if you can, hire someone. Well, keep you safer for one thing, but it'll also give you that shortcut, to get your to a goal quicker. We've already made all those mistakes, so why not learn from those? I always say, save yourself that trouble. But like I said, there's so much information at your fingertips. Do your research. I don't think anybody really has any excuse these days because it's right there. The problem, I think, more than anything, is sifting out the bad
Yeah.
information.
Yeah.
So I think we're trying to keep it simple and not getting sucked into really complicated, you know, uh, programs or whatever. If you're not doing anything and you go in the gym and you work your body, one exercise per muscle group 3 times a week, hey, you're already better than you were. Then you can kind of build on that. But what I can definitely say is, and I've heard a million times, is that you've got to spend 3 or 4 hours in the gym. Well, if you're competing in bodybuilding, okay, maybe. But if you're just somebody who is trying to be better, honestly, even when I was competing in powerlifting, my workouts never lasted more than an hour and a half. Because if you are lifting hard and you're lifting uh, heavy and doing the right exercises, you really can't do much more.
Yeah.
If you're
I agree.
jack, if you're jacking your jaws and you're taking 15, 20 minutes between sets, yeah, you'll stretch it out to 3 hours, but it's not at all necessary or beneficial to grow and devote that kind of time. You can get it done. It's painful, but you can get it done in 30, 40 minutes if you absolutely have to. So that's my main advice to everybody. Keep it simple and just be consistent. That's the hard thing for most people. I mean, you mentioned the food. That's probably the absolute hardest thing is food, but second hardest thing is probably just being consistent with it.
It is. Keep it simple. I like that. When you were saying like the exercise, how not they don't keep it simple. I always sometimes my clients just send me something on Instagram like, oh, look at this exercise, and I call them fantasy exercise. That's a fantasy because I don't know. There is so many things made up that are so weird. I'm like, what is this for exactly? You know, like, oh, you don't know this.
Yeah,
I honestly, no. I work with the basics because I don't want to get injured, and why will I do so many like weird things? I don't know. Like tricep is tricep.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
There's
Try to
many.
keep them as organic
Yeah,
as possible. I say, just the body was designed to be used and not just little bitty for 5 million reps. It's stick with the big movements, and yeah, people don't feel they kind of if you start with that and then trickle down to smaller movements, you're going to be tired when you get to those. So it's not going to take you an hour to do biceps if you start off with upper back. That's the kind of stuff I do is like, how can you make your workout smarter so you don't have to be there longer?
exactly. It's brilliant. The most important thing to me is diet and your mindset, resting. The gym is it's just to give food to the muscles, but you need to have
Yeah.
good fuel. But yeah,
Yeah. I always say you can't outtrain a bad diet. If you don't eat right, it's like trying to build, if you don't get in the protein, it's like trying to build a house without any material. Your body cannot build or repair without protein. One focus I have everybody start with, and then, enough water. And then, just if you're going to make it a lifestyle thing, I always say don't overwhelm with like, you have to do these 50 things, start with one thing, that more of a habit, and then kind of grow from there.
I love it. We have like 1 minute. What is your top three things on that list that you said? Those 15 ones. Water, rest, drinking, right? Good diet.
For sure. Sleep.
Yes.
You got to get enough sleep in, or your body can't reset and all that. But yeah, water, rest, and protein.
Water, rest, and protein. I like
Yeah.
it. And be happy.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even consider that on the list, but that is above all things. What's the point of any of it if you're not happy?
Yeah. Well, they say there's a cliche that says happiness is an attitude, which I agree. But the more I research about happiness, I think happiness is a muscle as well. So you have to take decisions that help to make you happy, and it's very
Absolutely.
tricky. Yeah, because oh yeah, okay,
Yeah,
I
try to.
decide today I'm happy, but I'm not happy. You
Yeah,
can't lie to yourself onto that one.
yeah.
Anyways,
And that's
we have
when you open
two
your
minutes
eyes in the morning.
for the closer.
I always give, I'm sorry, what was
We
that?
have 2 minutes for the closer. So it's just Instagram when it reaches the hour, it starts the countdown. I told you, it goes so fast.
It does go fast. I've really enjoyed our conversation.
I did as well. I knew it was going to be great. I mean, the little bit I heard about you, I was like, please, I want to interview her. Like, uh, this kind, I don't want to say this kind of woman because it's just, you're not even a kind. It's actually very difficult to meet someone that just achieve all of that because having the mindset of what I said, like having the passion, having everything just, just being perfect for achieving that. It's honestly a pleasure to being able to interview you and for having to share that. That's coming from you is very valuable because it's years of experience and passion. Passion is the key. So I let you the
Yeah.
last minute to say anything you want for the closure.
Um, I feel like I've said everything already. Yeah, like you said, morning. I started to say this actually. When you wake up in the morning, try to find, if you can't find three things to be grateful for, then you really have it pretty bad. Everybody can find three things, so start with that, and that
I
just
buy
takes
that.
your day, you know. And then every time you go in the gym, celebrate your little victories. I never did that, and I regret that, But you really should every day find one little thing, and when you walk out the door, go, myself do that, or really didn't feel like pushing, and I'm really glad, and so that when you leave, you have that good mindset that when you come back.
I love it.
Anyway,
3 seconds.
wonderful talk.
Love